Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would all please stand for the prayer and pledge by Councilwoman Debbie Pennington.
Shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings that you have entrusted in us. Be with us tonight, guide us to do your will as we serve the people of our community. We give thanks to our employees, firemen and women, police, and servicemen and women here at home and away. Keep them all safe from harm. In all this we pray in your most precious holy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Pennington.
Here.
Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Myers.
Here.
Councilmember Davidson. Councilmember Brill.
Here.
Councilmember Bessel. Councilmember Paulus.
Here.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Are there any agenda modifications to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, will that stand as presented to us? Is there an executive session request for this evening?
Yes, there is. To consider the appointment, employment, promotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and preparing for, conducting, and reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Thank you.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pennington.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Myers. Councilmember Davidson.
Yes.
Councilmember Brill.
Yes.
Councilmember Paulus.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Special presentation tonight. Do we have Eric Combs? There he is. I was going to say, I thought you were sitting over there earlier. Eric Combs from the Antique Car Parade. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Otis and council members. I am Eric Combs, president of the Butler County Antique and Classic Car Club. Since 1954, our club has been responsible for organizing the annual Hamilton Fairfield Antique Car Parade. The 2024 parade marked our 70th year. We wanted to do something special this year, so for the first time in our history, we decided to end the parade and hold our awards ceremony in Fairfield. This year's event was a massive, massive success. We've received more positive comments than we have in many years, and most of that was due to the city of Fairfield. The success of this event would not be possible without the help of several Fairfield City employees. I'd like to thank Mandy Brock and April Osborne with the Parks and Recreation Department. They were a huge help and a pleasure to work with. Darlene Feldman, the Fairfield executive assistant. She's always helped me for many years get the permits put through. Sergeant Michael Woodall with the Fairfield Police Department, and all the other officers that were involved in keeping our event safe. All the city workers as well that helped with parking and staging of the classic cars at Village Green this year. We're honored to have our event in the cities of Hamilton and Fairfield. The parade is the oldest and the largest event of its kind in the United States. And we look forward to continuing this tradition for many more years. So thank you very much from all of us at the Butler County Antique and Classic Car Club.
Hey, well, thank you. It was a great event. I was there. I'm totally amazed. It's phenomenal. Got a lot of questions answered by a lot of cool clubs because there was different clubs there and everything. Are you going to continue to, now that it's such a huge success in Fairfield, are you going to continue to end it here?
That's our plan, to continue to end our event in Fairfield. You've got such fine facilities. The amphitheater worked out tremendously well for our award ceremony, and it's just such a pleasant setting to have an event of its kind. Thank you very much.
Good. Good. Any other comments? Thank you very much for coming. We can ever help out any other way, let us know. We'll publicize it. We'll get it out on our website, which I think we did, but we'll do it again. It's a great, great event. I remember going to that and watching it Well, since I was born in 57, so when I was a little, all the way up, my father, we never missed it. So,
Man, you're old.
yeah. Mr. Paulus graduated a couple years before me. All right. Thank you very much.
Most of those cars were brand new then, too.
They cranked them up and so, all right. Any citizens' comments for the evening? You're welcome to come and speak at any time. All right. We'll always plug you in anywhere.
There you go. I'm always in the right spot.
This is Miss Peggy from our Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. I'm gonna start these are just a little invitation, get to that in a second. I'm Peggy Emerson. I'm the president of the Fairfield Chamber of Commerce. Whoop, there we go. That better? Peggy Emerson, president of Fairfield Chamber of Commerce. I just want to, first of all, thank council, mayor, all of you guys for all the amazing support you give us. I've spent most of today with a lot of you guys that are on here today. It's been a very busy, wonderful day for the chamber. We had the nth ribbon cutting this morning, which is, if you don't know, it's a battery recycling facility. It's the first of its kind in the United States. It's new technology. It's extremely exciting. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, we had another ribbon cutting. They asked me this morning, how often do you use those scissors? And I said, well, we have 2 ribbon cuttings today at the Waterford for a sports bar that they've opened for their residents and families. So we're very excited about that opportunity for people to use that as well. And then Nathaniel Kalin, who's with Economic Development, also spent some time with me today as we went over award nominations for our community awards, for business awards for our annual meeting, which is brings me to October 10th. That's a little invitation for you guys. I know that Darlene is already on top of everything for that, but it's just a little official invitation to our annual meeting. We have moved it to a lunch this year. We took a poll. We found that the people wanted, by pretty much overwhelming, to have a lunchtime. So we're going to give it a shot this year, see how it goes. And then the other thing I'm really excited and want to thank the city for their ongoing support with is we have our leadership class starting the 18th of September. We have 22 people registered this year. Several employees from the city are going to be there. In addition, one of our sessions is we tour parks. Another session, we deal with economic development here in the city. So it's a great opportunity and you guys offer us great support. So just some big thank yous and kudos to all you guys do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Peggy. You're doing a great job there. When are you moving into your new headquarters on Nilles Road? Late October, 700 Nilles Road, right there next to Fairfield Pizza, Fairfield Hardware, that little thing, and Miller's Boutique. So cool. All right. Council reports down here. Nope. Coming this way. Mr. Kraft.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just would like to give a shout out to Ben Mann and his team for a great job on Nilles Road. The paving, it's phenomenal. It's awesome. The process was pretty seamless. I drive it every day, dropping my daughter off at Sacred Heart. And the crews were well organized. Everything moved smoothly. In one of the busiest times during the day, you didn't really notice a whole lot of disruption. So just thank you very much. Gray Road was an awesome job as well.
Public Utilities Department would like to thank 30 residents that participated in this summer's drinking water, lead, and copper sampling program. The city required by Ohio EPA to test its water for lead and copper every year. In 2024, all lead and copper levels were well below federal limits. In the past 5 years, around 95% of the water samples collected and tested in Fairfield have shown 0 detections for lead. Fairfield's Water Division helps control lead and copper levels by producing very stable water that is not corrosive to home plumbing. This is an accomplishment by pH Control. For more information about drinking water quality, visit the city's website. And I want to thank Adam for what fantastic job. Did you want to add anything to this? Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Mr. Paulus?
No, I have nothing.
All right. I'd like to mention a couple things. They were briefly mentioned earlier by Ms. Peggy. The Waterford over here did open a sports bar inside there today for their residents. I'm not a lot, but pretty often I'm told that we have some residents moving to the town north of us with a couple different locations up there that have bars and little pubs in there. So we never did have one. So this is a great addition to for the elderly, the guys that I should say the residents to come up and watch TV. They had about 3 or 4 different TVs in there, and you could get a cocktail or just a soda or whatever, games, and it's really a neat addition for Waterford. This morning at a company, if you really want some interesting reading, there's a company out there that just started this. We had a grand open ribbon cutting called Nth, the NTH, so it's Nth Cycle, and they are the only ones in America, and there's only the other ones like them are in China, and they are. I'm going to read this because it is definitely they do electro extraction technology, refining nickel and cobalt. So they work with lithium-ion batteries, extracting the waste from them, and then reusing them. So it's the only one in America. It's unbelievable. There was people attended there. There's a member of a Congress there, a little suburb south of us called Cincinnati. The mayor was there, and I always tease him when I met with him in meetings. Guy came in from the Department of Energy, as well as other political people and city people alike. We were several of us there. So I really welcome them to the community, and it's kind of neat to be the only one in the whole country doing this. And they want to. Did they tell us? Did I hear 11 or 13 new ones they're going to build this in the next
They
couple?
got one in process now.
Yeah. So and it's really cool. All right. So let's move on here.
Excuse me, Mayor Mitch.
Oh, yes.
I just want to bring up one point because
Yes.
I think City Manager Timmer, is it on the 19th? We're doing the recycle thing. I know we did it last year where citizens can bring things.
The discard day?
Yes,
Discard day.
October 19th?
yes. I just want to make sure that that's announced and that we give people ample time to realize that it's happening, so.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, yes, it will be October 19th this year.
And that's still at the
Yeah.
aquatic?
Parking lot at the Aquatic Center. in
Aquatic
North
Center?
Chase. Yes.
So you
Let's
can
bring
discard
everything.
Computers, electronics, furniture, whatever you need to discard, you can discard. TVs, yes, so a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, very good. All right. No public hearing tonight, so we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. There's no objections. We'll let them stand as presented. Next, let's see here, old business. Councilmember Davidson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Have an ordinance amending ordinance number 166-84, the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01B2, the city of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map. This is a second reading. Planning Commission did recommend approval, 7-0. Let that stand as a second reading. And number 2, we have an ordinance to amend sections 1131.10, 1131.12, and 1171.02 of the ordinance 166-84, the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, to enact zoning provisions regarding marijuana cultivation, processing, testing laboratories, and dispensaries, and to place a limit of 1 on the number of business locations operating as adult use and medical dispensaries permitted within the city of Fairfield. First, I'm going to make a motion to amend for minor grammatical changes.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Second, we did get that would be the second reading of it. We did get the Planning Commission recommendation, which was approved and voted 7-0 in favor of allowing the changes. I'm next going to make a motion to suspend the third reading.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Planning Commission? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, thank you. Next on the list, Public Utilities, Councilmember Pennington.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to approve and adopt Fairfield's sustainability plan called Fairfield Sustains. Plan dated June 27th, 2024. This is the third reading, and what is the hat about? Fairfield Sustains.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
isn't that nice?
Yeah, we all got one.
Yeah.
Need a hat, Mark? I
Thank
don't
you.
wear that.
That goes good
Oh,
on your
yeah.
head there, Debbie.
Oh, yes.
Get your ponytail out there.
Oh, okay. So, this is a third reading. Is there any questions or?
All righty.
Great job again, Adam. So I'll make the motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion second. Comments from audience? Comments from council?
Yes, I'm going to, as is now called, I'm going to pull a Davidson here. And as he has done many times, he's done a great job, and my slide will never be as good as yours. But the mayor asked me to give a little bit of a recap on this. I'm passionate about this. I'm so proud of what we, as a council, are about to pass here. Because I called the city manager and I said, is there any legislation that we have passed in the city that comes close to this as having a visionary and strategy that's big enough that will take us into the future? And the only one was the overall plan there. But so couldn't be more proud of this. The actual plan is how many pages? Over 90 pages, right? 89, whatever, over 90 pages. So I tried to bundle this into one simple slide about what Fairfield Sustains is. Looking at the left here is the what. It's the ability to maintain and support city resources over a long period of time. And the how is really through efficient and effective use of resources driven by a defined and very balanced approach. So it's not one way or another. It's a balanced approach of how we do this, how we protect our resources. The results are really the protection of those resources in a cost-effective manner for all of our operations that will continue to enhance what everybody on council has always said is the protection and the enhancement of quality of life for all our residents and all our business owners. Now, if you look at the centerpiece, which I really like, it takes that quality of life component and puts it into a logo. The environmental and natural resources, the economic vitality that this particular plan and strategy will bring, that will then overshadow and intersect into the quality of life of every resident. It's a really interesting equation, which is a really balanced equation. The key factors that people need to understand are this. This legislation does not mandate that every single department has EVs. It's never. We will never get to that point because of our emergency vehicles and so forth. It's just not possible to do. Are we going to be smart about it? Absolutely. It doesn't supersede any Parks Board, environmental commissions and so forth that intersects with those. It allows us all to work as one team. It's a strategy, it's a roadmap, it's a plan. And I'm so happy that the Parks Board is here and the Environmental Commission, members of the Environmental Commission are here. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I need you to hear this because this is an important piece that bolsters what you do as volunteers for the city, which is so valuable. And finally, it expands the involvement of both public and private initiatives. Looking at this is, Mayor, you were just talking about the nth ribbon cutting. Talk about sustainability. Talk about something that's cutting edge. That's it. I'm convinced that the next generation of folks that live in Fairfield, and it's coming, it's here now. This is an important foundation for the next generation of folks that we're trying to attract in our city, not only as a residents, but the companies that are here too. So I wanted to give a little play-by-play here before we actually have the official vote and just give some background. I'm happy to take any questions that you want. And this is just not me, and I was going to look to Councilmember Brill also to give some comments on this, because you co-sponsored this along with the whole council.
Thank you. I think the slide is beautifully done and really says it all. It's really about seeing our city prosper and continue to thrive into the future and continue to give the quality of life to our citizens that we have here. Why, I have chosen to live here most of my whole life, and why I've chose to raise my children here. So I'm just really excited with what the team that was assembled within the city. I know Adam and Aaron were very, very instrumental in putting all this together. And I just want to thank them and the whole team that really worked so hard on this program, because they've done a fabulous job. I really think that we have a fantastic plan in place to start, and we're jumping into it right away. We've engaged Miami University, we've engaged other aspects of the community here with this approach, and we're going to continue to engage and look for the community's buy-in and their support of this. So I'm just really, really excited about this whole initiative, and so happy to have Tim on council and really spoke with me and led this initiative. So thank you to everyone, and I'm real excited to see it launched.
Yeah, we're one of the only cities around that has done this, besides Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland. And I would venture to say ours are far better than those three big cities by far. So I'm good. Thank you. That's all I have. We're gonna do a vote?
He's already made the motion, and it's been seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Now I do have a small presentation for two members. Or Gwen, you want to get up? Adam and Aaron, where are you guys? Are you guys here? Come on. So, yeah. That's all right. Oh, okay.
I could grab it, that's what I was.
Gwen put it so nicely, the amount of work that you guys, as well as a much broader team, but every team needs a leader, and you guys were the leaders of this. And on behalf of all of City Council and Mayor, we'd like to give both of you an award from us on the hard work that you've done with this. And I'll read one, and then I'll ask Aaron. And a little bit of history on this. So this tree was in my neighbor's yard, and I cut it down last week. He didn't know about it. No. This is out of my backyard. This is a piece of American cherry. I do a little bit of woodworking on the side. It's 10 years old. I let it really so it wouldn't crack for you. But this is of my backyard, and it basically says, City of Fairfield, Ohio. The date is wrong, but that's okay. For outstanding leadership in the development and implementation, City of Fairfield sustains strategy and legislation. Adam Seckenheim from the city from Fairfield City Council.
And for Aaron, we have also from his backyard, City of Fairfield, September, the 9th, 2024, for outstanding leadership in the development and implementation of the City of Fairfield sustains strategy and legislation, to Aaron Lynn.
So what these guys don't know is, I had a tree in my backyard. Actually, I didn't. I took the tree from his guy. I just got a little flag. And it says, for outstanding leadership in the development of the city of Fairfield. Thanks. perfect award. You know, it's a perfect thing. You keep that sustainable.
Just out of the same, what?
Yep. You didn't even know that.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That's a no small feat to take on two secret awards, but then to try to give two secret awards to the people that are giving the secret awards and keeping track of all four was a task. So, all right, thank you, guys. All right, let me get started back here. We are now at Public Works C, right? Yep. Councilmember Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute a contract for the purchase of road salt from Morton Salt Incorporated. I'll let this stand as the second reading.
All right. We have new business now.
I'd like to make a motion to read all new business by title only.
Thank you.
Figured my mic was already
I
on.
had that was my task, but that's okay.
We have a second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Development Services, Mr. Timmer.
We have one ordinance and one resolution tonight for Development Services. The ordinance is to amend sections of the codified ordinances of the city to adopt a planning and zoning fee schedule. The Development Services Department levies a fee for various types of applications. The existing fees were established by City Council in 1980. Staff conducted a review of 13 peer communities and have developed the proposed pricing on this review. The resolution is to approve the Ward Boundary Review Commission report and recommendation. Per the Fairfield City Charter, the Ward Boundary Review Commission is tasked with reviewing population of the 4 wards every 5 years. The commission is recommending no changes to the boundaries of the 4 wards and an amendment to review every 10 years after U.S. Census data is released. Thank you.
All righty. Well, I'm sorry. Back up here again. Councilmember Davidson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to amend sections 1170.03 and 1190.08 of ordinance number 166-84, the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, to adopt a planning and zoning fee schedule for various types of applications that undergo administrative, planning commission, board of zoning appeals, and city council review, and to repeal ordinance number 54-80. That's the first reading. And second, I have a resolution approving the Ward Boundary Review Commission report and recommendations to make no changes to the boundaries of the 4 wards and amend the city charter to require a decennial review. That's the first reading. I move to suspend the second and third readings.
Motion is second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? I will just address, so that is a recommendation to do a city charter change. So does that fall? You know, the recommendation of the to move it to 10 years, is that?
Well, this is just, there has not been.
And to amend the city charter to require a 10-year review instead of a 5-year.
That will have to go.
That would have to
That's
go
what I
to
thought.
voters.
That's where I was going with that one.
Mr. Waltman, this is, so that the Ward Boundary Review Commission met recently. Aaron Lynn, our planning manager, was guided that review. The city charter mandates that it happens every 5 years, but since the city is not growing much recently, the population is stabilized. It seems excessive to get that group together every 5 years when it doesn't do a whole lot. The recommendations haven't changed in a long time. So the recommendation really is if the city would like to look at charter changes, which would require a vote of the people, this is one that they suggest be
There
looked
you
at
go.
in the future.
That's what I was going to recommend. Next time we do some charter review.
Yeah, as far as this goes, unless you make a measure to actually do what they're recommending, that's when it would go to the voters.
Right.
And we're just approving their recommendations.
That's correct.
So this would then be presented to the Charter Review Commission at their next meeting or next annual meeting.
they have made this recommendation to us. I don't know that it is going to be recommended by staff that you take this to the voters at this time, just simply, the matter is not necessarily one that is requiring or needing immediate attention.
Right.
But if we do go to the voters at some time in the future, you would want to consider whether or not you want to present this to the voters as well.
So the Ward Boundary Review Commission is recommending this. It's already been to the charter review? I thought you just said,
Did I say charter review?
Yeah.
I meant ward boundary review.
okay, I'm on top. I
And we
just
should
want to
only
make
do
sure.
it
You
if-
said charter review, they have
Charter
not seen
review
it.
has not made any
That's what I
recommendation
thought.
on this.
Okay.
And we're saying we should only do it if we have other stuff going to it,
Yeah,
instead of
it's a
taking
good-
this by
smart to do.
itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea, good idea. All right, let's see here. That's okay. You saved me a few times, that's good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Next, public safety, Mr. Timmer.
We have two ordinances and two simple motions tonight for public safety. The first ordinance is to authorize the city manager to execute the Norfolk and Southern Safety First Grant Application and Agreement. This grant typically provides approximately $15,000 for fire departments to use towards the purchase of rescue and hazardous materials response equipment. This grant would be funded 100% with no city match. The second ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract for 6 replacement cardiac monitors. The existing monitors are no longer eligible to be covered under the city's maintenance agreement. The equipment is critical to providing advanced life support. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was jumping down on my, did we just go out of order?
I'll go ahead and start it.
Okay,
I have a simple motion to not request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Wawa Midwest LLC doing business as Wawa number 7205-4597 Dixie Highway, Fairfield, Ohio, permit class C1, C2. Also, a simple motion not to request a hearing for a liquor permit.
You gotta second that, one of them.
that's a,
Simple motion, and I second it.
okay,
All right. Go one at a time.
one at a time. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Have another simple motion to not request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Wawa Midwest LLC, doing business as Wawa 7213-3501 Tylersville Road, Fairfield, Ohio. Again, permit class C1 and C2.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute Norfolk and Southern Safety First Grant Application and Agreement and acceptance for rescue and hazmat equipment and declaring it an emergency. Motion to suspend second and third reading.
Motion is second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have an ordinance to authorize city manager to enter into a contract with Savick Buying Group for 6 replacement cardiac monitor and defibrillators and declaring it an emergency. Motion to suspend second and third reading.
Second.
Motion is second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Also want to say, last week I had the unfortunate need for our paramedic service. I believe that the citizens of Fairfield, City Manager Timmer, Chief Laycamp should be so proud of the caliber of our medics and firefighters and the professional manner that they perform. Chief Laycamp, no pun intended, from the bottom of my heart, I would like for you to pass along to the medics and firefighters who responded to my emergency, many thanks for all that they did for me. You happen to have their names by chance? Would you read them?
Yeah, it was Captain Gabe Owens, FAO Scott Colvin, and firefighter Adam Ross Kraft. Sorry. Too many crafts. From Quint 31, and then from Medic 33, it was Tyler Harrington and Tyler Holman.
Many thanks to them.
It's really cool. All right. Public utilities, Mr. Timmer.
We have one ordinance tonight for public utilities. The ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract for the Gray Road Water Main Replacement Project. This project includes the replacement of nearly 7,000 feet of critical water main on Gray Road. The project will replace deteriorating 50-year-old iron piping. The project was prepared for formal bidding with 7 bids received. Staff recommends that the bid be awarded to Rack and Valor Excavating as the lowest and best bidder. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Rack and Valor Excavating Incorporated for the Gray Road Water Main Replacement Project and declare an emergency. I'd like to make the motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council?
Yeah, Ben, this will shut down Gray Road for a period of time, won't it?
Yes, it will. I mean, this is a public utilities project, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can blame that guy, but he'll be doing the work.
We shut down enough roads on our own. We don't need credit for
Since you threw Adam under the bus, Adam.
At the urging of Director Ben Mann, yes, the road will be closed. We have specified to the contractor that we will not exceed 90 days of road closure, so it will be a significant impact to folks in the monastery and people on Lake Michigan. Our intention is to have a public outreach session, a community engagement session to inform and notify everyone of the schedule. We actually already have a tentative pre-construction meeting scheduled with Rack and Ballar, assuming council approves the contract, and once we have dates and times, we'll meet with the impacted neighborhoods to try to let them know why we're doing this, most importantly, but then also what to expect in terms of schedule and impact on their commute.
What's the start date expected?
I think we would like to get this done or get this started in October, if not sooner, and that is why we have requested it to be passed as an emergency. We have some challenges, as you guys know, in that area with limited site distance with topography, and so to try to accelerate the project and also get the road reopened before snow and ice season, we'd like to move this thing as fast as possible. Thank you.
Can you physically tell us between which and which? Is it, I mean, which streets and?
So where John Gray and Gray Road meet at that 90-degree bend.
At the 90, okay, at the curve.
At the curve right there, all the way down to Lake Michigan and Monastery.
So Debbie, can I list my house with you during this period?
No problem.
Wow, all the way down to Lake Michigan. That's gonna be an interesting one, that's a lot of curves and a lot of, oh my gosh. All righty.
Hey, it's a beautiful part of town.
Huh?
It's a beautiful part of town. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be able to get, yeah.
All right,
So I made the motion for adoption.
yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Public Works, Mr. Timmer.
We have one ordinance tonight for Public Works. The ordinance authorizes the city manager to execute and file the application for financial assistance and enter into an agreement with Ohio Public Works Commission grant application for program year 39. It is necessary for council to authorize in order to execute multiple grant applications with OPWC for the 2026 Street Improvement Program. Thank you.
All righty, Mr. Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute and file the application for financial assistance and enter into an agreement with Ohio Public Works Commission for the Ohio Public Works Commission Issue 1, grant application for program year 39 and declaring an emergency. Make a motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Second.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion for adoption.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council?
The only thing I'll say, Mr. Mayor, is just, of course, another message of gratitude to all of the staff working for the city of Fairfield to maximize external funding. Working towards grants, filling out grant applications, anybody who's ever done it, it's a very tedious, long process. But to know, I guess, relentlessness of always trying to get external funds to help out the city, I just want to say thank you to all the department heads and your staff. So that's it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, down to the beans. Let's see here, Mr. Timmer.
We have 5 ordinances and 2 resolutions tonight for finance and budget. The first resolution is to accept the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorize the necessary tax levies and certify them to the Butler County Auditor. The second resolution is to establish the Sustainability Fund for the city. As part of the city's sustainability efforts, as outlined in Fairfield Sustains, this resolution will establish a fund to account for revenues and expenditures generated by the implementation of efficiency projects. The first ordinance is to levy special assessments for the repair of sidewalks in the city. This is the first step in assessing the properties for sidewalk repairs. If amounts remain unpaid, City Council will authorize these unpaid amounts to be assessed to the Butler County Auditor's Office. The second ordinance is to establish salaries and numbers for certain exempt and salaried employees. This ordinance is specific to the Human Resources Division as part of a current succession management plan. The third ordinance is for supplemental appropriations. The supplemental appropriations being requested are for the following 3 line items in the general fund, 1 line item in the special assessments fund, 2 line items in the water revenue fund, and 2 line items in the water bond and interest fund. The fourth and fifth ordinances are for contractual and non-contractual appropriations. The contractual appropriations total $2,275,000 and are for 2 projects in the public utilities and fire departments. The non-contractual appropriations total $235,200 and include 7 projects from the Information Technology Division, Development Services, and Public Utilities Department. Thank you.
Good job. All right. From Finance, Councilmember Brill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first is a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second. Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Second one is a resolution establishing the Sustainability Fund, Fund 416, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Motion for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. And third, an ordinance levying special assessments for the repairs of sidewalks, including aprons, in the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from council? Comments from audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Fourth is an ordinance establishing salaries for certain exempt and salaried employees of the city of Fairfield, Ohio, to repeal ordinance number 47-24 and all amendments thereto and declaring an emergency. Motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Fifth is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 166-23 entitled, "An Ordinance to Make Estimated Appropriations for the Expenses and Other Expenditures of the City of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. These are the supplemental appropriations that City Manager Timmer explained. Motion to suspend second and third readings.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Sixth is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 166-23 entitled, "An Ordinance to Make Estimated Appropriations for the Expenses and Other Expenditures of the City of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. These are contractual appropriations of $1,910 for water main replacement and $365,000 for replacement of cardiac monitor defibrillators. Motion to suspend second and third readings.
Motion second for rules, motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And last, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 166-23 entitled, "An Ordinance to Make Estimated Appropriations for the Expenses and Other Expenditures of the City of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. These are non-contractual appropriations for 7 projects totaling $235,200. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Motion second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I did have a note here that I missed earlier. The Mayor's Youth Commission met today for the second time, and we had a huge crowd show up, so I'm trying to filter out how to do this year. It's been a pretty wild one. And so for the staff members, we'll be sometime reaching out to you, some young men and some seniors and juniors. Just for those in the audience, it's a program we started a couple years ago. It kind of gives the high school juniors and seniors some exposure to city government. And it is so exciting today. The ones, we're thrilled that we have a utilities department, you know, and right away you think police, fire, the ones that are out. And it's the utility guy and the environmental guy and then the finance guy. And then this one wants to be a lawyer and even, look at that, Steve, even a lawyer out in the group. Yeah. And so it's
Smartest
exciting.
one in your group, I'm sure.
They were almost all of them were from the AP classes at Fairfield, but they will be reaching out to you and I'll give you a little better format in a group email. So, all right. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, and I should have said something when Councilman Davison was reading the marijuana legislation. I just want, that's in a time when larger government doesn't get along, they don't have conversations, they don't discuss. What this council did, along with staff, to be able to put together something that was reasonable, well thought out, and allowed what the voters voted for to get enacted in this city, everybody on council as well as staff should be commended for that, for an outstanding effort on that.
I agree.
We should have said that during the comments on the third reading. Nobody got everything, but you know what? It's a good solution. So that was my comment.
Very good. Madam Clerk, we'd like to read the meeting schedule.
Monday, September 23rd, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 15th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Monday, October 28th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m.
All right. We'll now be excused to executive session.